Hi everybody and welcome to my next 1 to 12 scale diecast review, which is the bike that you see in front of you. That's the 1998 Repsol Honda NSR 500 as ridden by Michael Doohan in the 1998 season. This model is made by IXO. It's one of their BRB versions, which is basically their sort of premier version. And like I mentioned, it's in the 1 to 12 scale. I'll be doing my usual review scoring here with 5 categories, maximum of 5 points for each of those categories, meaning the model can score up to 25. Those categories are desirability, the box packaging quality, build quality, overall look, and value for money. So let's get rolling straight into the model desirability then. And as usual, I'll be taking into account the rider, the model that the season's from, or the season that the model's from rather, the motorcycle and the overall desirability. So the rider Mick Doohan is one of the toughest and best motorcycle riders of all time. He won 5 consecutive 500cc World Championships, with only Agostini, Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez having won more Premier Class titles. Mick is one of only a few racers to have won World Superbike Championship races, and he did 3 out of the 4 that he participated in before entering Grand Prix racing in 1989, where he started his relationship with the NSR 500. Mick won his first race in 1990 at the Hungarian Grand Prix, on his way to finishing a superb third in only his second season, which back on these machines was an incredible feat. Early in his career, Mick raced in one of the golden eras of the sport, having monumental battles with legends such as Wayne Rainey, Kevin Swantz, Wayne Gardner, Eddie Lawson and many others. Mick is also well known for several terrible crashes during his career, most notably during the 1992 season, where he was on his way to winning the title before his infamous accident at the Dutch TT. He suffered permanent and serious damage to his right leg due to medical complications, and at one stage faced amputation of the leg. It was saved though with the radical treatments. At the time, Doohan was 65 points in the lead of the championship, but could not compete for 8 weeks after the crash. He bravely returned to racing for the final 2 races, but he couldn't prevent Yamaha rider Wayne Rainey from winning his 3rd consecutive title by only 4 points. So definitely a bitter pill to swallow. As a result of this, he also had to switch to a left thumb operated rear brake, as his right foot no longer was able to perform the required actions. In 1994, however, Mick won his first 500cc World Championship. Thereafter, until 1998, he dominated the class, winning 5 consecutive World Championships. In 1997, which was his most successful year, Doohan won 12 out of 15 races, finishing second in another 2 and just 1 DNF, which was at his home round in Australia, while leading 6 seconds. Mick was forced to retire during the 1999 season after another horrific crash at Jerez in Spain. Overall, Mick made 137 Grand Prix starts, taking 54 wins, 95 podiums, 58 pole positions and 46 fastest laps. A true legend of the sport in a brutal racing era. So the season then, 1998. The Repsol Honda pilots for the season were Mick Doohan and Alex Crivier. A much more competitive season than 1997, Max Biaggi brought a solid battle to Mick during his first Premier Class season. A disqualification for Max in the Catalan round, though, all but sealed the title for Mick, meaning that he won his 5th title, 5th in a row, by 52 points from the Roman with 260 points. Mick had 11 podiums during the year with 8 wins, 3 seconds and 3 DNFs. Alex Crivier also produced a solid season, finishing 3rd with 198 points. He made 7 podium finishes, including 2 wins. So the motorcycle now then, the Honda NSR 500, what a machine. So it participated between 1984 and 2002. It's one of the most iconic motorcycles of all time and a personal favourite of mine. It was designed to succeed Honda's first 2-stroke Grand Prix racer, which was the NS 500 Triple. The NSR 500 debuted in 1984 and went on to great success. Over the years, many motorcycling legends rode and won titles on this machine. Coupled with iconic paint schemes like Rothmans and Repsol, the bike holds a place in the heart of motorcycle racing fans across the world. The motorcycle was particularly known for its devastating straight-line speed, with Japanese rider Shinichi Ito becoming the first rider to reach 200 mph in 1993. For the 2002 season, technical regulations were changed drastically, with 4-stroke engines being allowed to grow up to 990cc and up to 6 cylinders. The name of the class was changed to MotoGP and was limited to race prototypes only. Because of these changes, Honda introduced the RC211V to race alongside the NSR 500. The larger displacement and other 4-stroke bikes dominated the series, and the NSR 500 was eventually phased out of the class along with all other 2-stroke motorcycles. In total, the NSR 500 won 10 championships, made up of 5 for Mick Doohan, 1 for Freddie Spencer, Wayne Gardner, Eddie Lawson, Alex Crivier and Valentino Rossi. So overall then, the desirability of this machine. The iconic combination of rider and machine, highly desirable and memorable for all motorsport fans. Being part of the BRB series, this model is one of IXO's premium lines, making the model more rare now, and it's often not seen on after-sale sites. Although not a numbered limited edition, I believe the run has been shorter, leading to this being a more desirable collectible. It could be argued that Mick Doohan's 1995 and 1997 seasons are more iconic, but I feel this model is a clear 5 out of 5 for desirability, even though there are more premium Mick Doohan versions out there from different brands. Moving on to the box packaging quality then. So in front is everything that you get. The bike comes in the clamshell on the left, which keeps it nice and protected, and on the right is the box that the clamshell comes in. So as you can see, very no frills, no picture of the bike on there. Now, one thing to note is that the cardboard is pretty sturdy on the actual outer shell, and also, and I just show you here, it's got a matte finish on there, which the lighting is just picking up there. So it's got like this IXO writing on here. So the box is definitely more premium with these BRB versions than what you get with the normal IXO, and I'll show the normal IXO boxes in a second. So they have got the display window, which would normally have the plastic in the shell in there. Now, it's, in my opinion, not something that you can really display your bike in. There isn't enough of a window there, and it would be inside the plastic. No picture on the box or anything like that. No really nice graphics. If we take a quick look around, like I say, it's quite no frills. We've got the website pointed out just on the bottom right. Obviously mentions but the model's IXO on top. If we spin this round to the side, you can see on there, it tells you it's BRB 007, Honda NSR, Mick Doohan 1998. Nothing really on the back of the box, just the usual sort of warnings on there and some credits. So, quite, it does its job. Actually does look quite nice and feels nice. It's just not something that you display with a bike, so it's just purely for getting to you. Now, if I bring in the usual IXO packaging, you can see it is a lot nicer than this sort of cheap, tacky looking standard box that you usually get with these. So if I was going to look at giving a score to the box and packaging, the old normal standard IXO box I gave a 2. I would give this the same as the standard Mini Champs packaging, which is a 3 out of 5. Third category then, build quality. First of all, I'll just point out some of the features that this bike does and doesn't have. So it doesn't have the removable fairings, it does have working front steering, it doesn't have working front suspension, but it does have working rear suspension. Also has a paddock stand that comes with it. Now, you'll notice I haven't got the paddock stand on here, and that's for one reason. It just isn't fit for purpose, not on the version that I've got anyway. The reason for that is the actual stand has the little clips that fit onto these rear pegs here. The pegs just aren't long enough, so it keeps slipping off. Now, I've had that with models before, but never as bad as this one. So a bit of an oversight there. All it would take is a little knock and the bike is down. So let's start from the front of the machine then and work our way around just with anything with build quality. Now, it does have the usual detailing of tubing on here, which you can just pick up there coming off the caliper. Now, it doesn't have full tubing around the bike like the Spark models or the Mini Champ models, which you'll see on the rear caliper as when I start turning the bike around. But that does look nice on there. It's maybe a little bit large. If you sort of scaled that up to 1:1, it might be a little bit big, but it still looks nice on there. Build quality as well. I think something to focus on massively with this model is the decals. I've had the Mini Champs 1995 Mick Doohan with flag that's come out recently, and I've had the Classic series before. And the decals have always been very flaky. Now they are a little bit flaky on this model as well, but in my opinion they're actually better than those other two. I've got none that have pulled off on here and no chipping, which is quite rare on this model. So just be careful if you've got this and you're manhandling it, because it is very easy to sort of peel off the decals by accident. The model doesn't feel as heavy as some. We'll weigh it in a second. Obviously it's made up from a mixture of die-cast, resin and plastic parts. Does look quite nice. Let's make a quick further look around. Is the front steering in alignment? Let's just have a quick look. Yep, so my steering straight there, the wheels straight. Is there a seam in the back tyre? Not really, which is very impressive. That's good. So overall, and we'll come into this more in the next category, but as you can see, it's a beautiful looking machine and it does have good build quality. What I was meaning about the lack of wiring coming from the rear, it's there. Look, normally there'd be a tube coming off that back caliper, which there isn't on here. A little bit plain looking on the exhaust, it's just the die cast there, so no sort of weathering effect on there, or sort of the nice paint applications. But overall it is built well, it feels solid, the steering works well, nothing outstanding. Let's give it away, see where it compares against some of the other models that I've reviewed. So I've got my trusty weighing scales again. I'm going to put these into grams. We'll transfer the bike over. And it's coming out at 182 grams. Now that is a little bit more than the standard version Kenny Roberts Jr., the Suzuki 2000 that I reviewed. Being the BRB model, you would expect it to be a little bit better. I can confirm after comparing the two, it definitely is. It definitely feels better. It's just got a few extra nice little touches. It isn't obviously as heavy as the Spark or a Mini Champs, but it's decent. For me, build quality, 3 out of 5. Now, just before starting the next category, which is the overall look of the machine, I just want to stay quiet and give you a few panoramic views of the bike, as it is lovely. What a great looking bike. Superb paint scheme, one of the most iconic in motorcycle racing, especially with Mick Doohan on board. It's why we've got that 5 out of 5 for desirability in that first category. Awesome looking machine. Few things to point out then with the overall look. The paint application's really good. It's not just one block colour or just a piece of plastic. Everything's been painted out nicely with different applications, different colours. Just the fine little details that we've pointed out on here, as in that front brake disc there, the different sort of variety of colours with the front forks. Everything's as it is in real life. It's a lovely looking bike, and it is made a lot better by the decals, and like I mentioned in the last category, they are probably better than the ones that you get on the Mini Champs machines that I've had before for a Doohan. Now, one thing that I did forget to mention actually, which I'm a little bit disappointed with, is the chain. So on the standard IXO 1-12 machines, it's like a 2D chain. It's just flat. It's got no 3D sort of effect to it. It's just a picture basically. And if you look at this one also, it is too. Look, it's just flat on there. It's 2D. So a bit disappointing, and this is the more premium version of these models. Still moving around with the look of the bike I mentioned before, but it would have been better to have that extra tubing, bit of effect on the exhaust. Slightly blocky colours just round the rear sets there, but overall, really impressive looking still. I like the actual front of the bike. It's got lots of nice details in there, including the tubing coming off the tank. Looks really nice. If you just keep breathing this in, it's a lovely looking bike. Look at that. Looks great. Would look lovely against anything in your collection. It won't be shown up by any other machine that you've got. I think once you start picking them up, then the overall sort of build quality comes into play. But if you're just looking at it from a cabinet, alongside other bikes, no matter whether the Spark, Mini Champs, IXO, New Ray, it'll look great. Overall look, 4 out of 5. Last category then, value for money. Now I recently acquired this one for £52, which I didn't think was too bad. Especially like I mentioned when you compare it against the Mini Champs versions. Now it isn't as good a quality, but it does look really good. Maybe not quite as good as those Mini Champ ones, but like I said, when you're the collection and you stood a couple of foot back, is it really worth £100 more? So sort of £150 to £220, you see those Mini Champs ones up on after sale sites. And this one's £50. For me, I think this is the better value for money, definitely. I think if you could get hold of a cheap version of the Classic series from Mini Champs, then that one is you want to go for. I did prefer that one over the bike with the flag. I thought the actual Mick Doohan rider was a little bit overscaled on that, sort of dwarfed the bike a little bit. Didn't really like it too much. But this one, I'm really impressed with it. I would give it 4 out of 5 for what I've paid. Like I say, there's no limited edition number on this, but there definitely is less of a run than what there was on other IXO models, which is why it is higher priced. You don't find too many out there. Normal IXO bikes in price range is about £20 to £40, so this definitely is higher. But it is the Mick Doohan Repsol combination, and you just need one in your collection if you like motorcycle racing. It's a bit of a must. Yeah, for me, it's an easy 4 out of 5. If you can get this for around £30, make that 5 out of 5. Do you know what? Even £35 to £40, make that a 5 out of 5. Gives it an overall score of 19 out of 20. I'd class 20 as a really, really excellent score. So 19, really good. And it does reflect the machine. Decent build quality. Better packaging than what you normally get with IXO models. And a beautiful bike to match. At a good price point, I highly recommend this one. And it's going to look great against my other machines. That's another review done. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and give me any feedback. Thanks everyone. See you in the next review. Bye.